Thanks, Brett.
Okay, so Jeff, this question's for you. Colonialism, apartheid, crony capitalism, and greedy politicians have all left their mark on Africa quite badly. But changes are having a dramatic effect on the growth rate already. If you look at the top 10 growing countries in the world, 6 of them are from Africa. The continent's projected to grow considerably faster than the rest of the world for the next 40 years. How can exponential technology and purposeful investment accelerate the growth?
Thanks, Brett. First of all, I totally believe in everything you just said, and super bullish on Africa in general. What I would say is what you talked about in kind of a banking sector and everything else, and the way that money is actually kind of formed, is connected to a lot of the things that happen in Africa and hurt that. Same as in India and everything else. And what's changing today, led by Bitcoin is one of those changes, by decentralized money, is going to fix that system in time. But the bigger change that's coming is a change to digital systems. And when you think about digital systems overall, we used to buy records or CDs, and we used to buy that music so that we could get one song. And today, in a different delivery format, we have access to all music. The same thing happened for cameras. We used to look at, we used to only take certain amount of photography. And even though Kodak invented the digital camera, they missed that we have an abundance in photos today, and they're almost free. And a different business model took advantage of that. And so as you project out what is happening in a switch to digital infrastructure, in a switch to more solar infrastructure, a lot of times the incumbents don't have the advantage. It's the upstarts with fresh thinking that aren't encumbered to their previous assets. They don't have to make their other thing work, that they have the advantage. The advantage, in other words, the advantage moves to entrepreneurs. The advantage moves to people that can project patterns, how fast the world's moving, and be able to solve those problems, not the way they were solved before in the old world, solve them in a new way. And so there's a really big advantage for kind of a fresh start.
Okay. So I'm pleased that you said that, because, I mean, ultimately, if we can bring the cost of doing the traditional things way, way down in Africa, then overlaying all the other things that are naturally happening on the continent, which is really often overcoming the hurdles that we put in front of ourselves, we've got a real chance. So following on from that, assuming that purposeful investors will step up to the plate, so that the model of capitalism will actually change, and we will have more people thinking, I want to make a profit, but I want to do good at the same time, and believing that that's possible. What do we need to do to get governments, big business, and tech to enable this optimization of tech democratization, and to reduce the costs, as you've just talked about, in electricity and photography and all of these other things? How do we actually get them to move their asses? Because government and big business are not the fastest of movers.
You don't. If you spend and I'm sorry, but if you spend your time there or blaming that, there's no chance you have to create the pressure by winning a market to be able to turn something else to want to change it. You have to create a 10x type of advantage to the market. And it's all, and so entrepreneurs are going to do it no matter what. They do it for a different reason. A lot of time, and a lot of times those entrepreneurs fail because of the same thing. They miss the timing and everything else. But I would say, if you're reliant on somebody else, like big business or government, if you believe you're reliant on that, you typically don't take the step to change. So it's and what creates an ecosystem is quite honestly a whole bunch of failures of people that are going to do it anyways, and then a success or two that gets other people to say, wow, it is possible here. It becomes a lightning rod. and everything else for change. And it always happens with, it can happen if the government is supportive. It can, but that is not the space that you can typically make change. It's too slow, especially in a world that's moving as fast as it is today.
Okay, so if we're looking for rising tides, it's not going to be the government, and it's not going to be traditional big business. It may be a wave of climate change positivity. It may be a wave of young people thinking the world is an unequal place, and that's wrong. So we can take advantage of those social changes.
Exactly. And if it doesn't come from there, if big business from there, it doesn't, you might have big business from somewhere else support it because they want to support the region and they want to be early. But it takes the entrepreneur to show that opportunity.
Okay.